Hey, ninth grade math. Today we have a couple things I would like to get done today. First is we're going to cover a little bit of domain and range notes. Next thing you guys are going to have a uh, video questions you're going to answer. You're going to see real life examples of uh, the quadratic formula, which is the next section we're going to go into. And the last thing is a little bit of practice in domain and range for you guys. Now, if you're done with this and you want to work on your math project, if you have not turned in, please feel free to do so after you get everything done. So without further ado, let's get on with the notes. So for domain and range, some of you may have heard this before. Some of you guys may have done some domain and range before. But in case you haven't, I just want to go over it again just so we're all starting off the same page because we're going to be using domain and range a lot this unit. So again, we're going to learn the difference in notations of graphs today as a refresher, and we're going to learn how to find domain and range of a graph. So as a quick review, there are some words that we're going to use with domain. You're going to hear me use these values. Just know that they are for the certain one. So when I say domain, I'm going to mean the input of something or the x values of a graph. Now, what are some words we use with range? Well, range is going to be the output or the y value. So some graphing notation. So you guys all remember, or if you haven't learned this yet, here's your time. Whenever you see a closed circle like this, like up here on a graph, that means that point is included. Anytime you see an open circle, that means the point is not included. Now, this also means if you have two finite positions here, like two dots, that means our line's going to exist between these two dots here. Now, if you see, like in this case, of an arrow pointing down, we know that this dot is included, so this point's included, and this arrow means that it's going to keep on going to infinity. It'll keep going down, 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 till it's to infinity, or beyond. Now, a little bit about domain and range. So domain are all the x values that you have. X values go from left to right. So domain is how far left or right that line goes. Now the range is all the y values. The y values go up and down. So range is how far up or down something will go. Now an example of domain range. So the domain are all the possible x values listed on here. So the possible x values are those between, we know that this little dot is -2, and this dot is at 4. So their values are between 2 and 4. So domain, I can cover the signs again in a separate video. Just so you guys know, if it's a closed circle, it'll be less than or equal to. And if it's an open circle, it'll just be less than or greater than. Okay? So in this case, because it is closed, it's going to be less than or equal to. So we can say -2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 4. We're giving our range here of all the values between the first x and the last x value you see on this line. Now we're only caring about it going this way. Now the possible range are from where it starts to where it ends. So if you look at this top dot, it's at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th spot. So know that the one possible y value is 5. The other possible y value is at the 1, 2 mark. So our possible range is between 2 and 5. Or I can say, because you always go lower numbers to higher numbers, 2 is less than y, which is less than 5. And that gives you your domain and your range. Now, in a parabola, or a curved function like this, our quadratics, we're going to have to care about this whole entire line. We're not just caring about when the number goes here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. We need to care about this point to this point down here. Now notice that this is an open circle. This means it's not included. Keep that, that's important. So we talk about domain, or the possible x values. So what are the x values we have? Well, we have -6 as one, because we look at the x going from left to right. So our first one we hit going left is our -6. And where do we end up? At the 8 mark. Now we have -6, because it's a closed circle, it's less than or equal to x, which this one is open, so it's not equal to this point, so we say less than 8. So the range, on the other hand, we're going from our up and down now. So the top one we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, so we know it's going to be from 4 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, going down. So the possible y values are -7 and 4. All right. So again, another example, our x values, where does the green box lie? Well, we have one here at the 1, 2, 3, 4th, the -4th one, and at the 5th one. So our possible values are between -4 and 5. The 2 dots are included, so we can say that they are both less than or equal to. Now what about the y values? Now be careful at this, because we know that we go here, we go down, and we go up. So you care about the highest point of 7, and then the lowest point, because that's going to give you all the possible values in there. So we have 7 and 2 this time. So all the possible values are between 2 and 7. Okay, 2 more examples for you. In this case, we have our arrow. So when we say this, we know that we have a 6 and it's going to the left. So we need to include 6 in everything before 6 to infinity. So in this case, all the possible values will be x is less than or equal to 6. Now the range are all the possible values of y. Now if we're going from where? -4. And we're going to go to infinity. So what we have to do is say 4, or y is less than or equal to 4. Okay. Last one for us. Now this is one of them that I'm going to go into a lot of detail into this note, so if you don't get this stuff today, please don't worry. This is just our introduction to it. And this last one is super hard because we're going to care about this right here. So the domain are all the possible x values. The x values are any numbers. So domain in here is any real number, because this is going to go on to infinity and this is going to go on to infinity, so we know we're going to have all the possible values. Now, however, do we have a y value of a range? Yeah, we do, because there's a top of this point right here. This top of the point is the highest it can possibly go. Where does it end? 3. So we say 3 is less than or equal to y. So in conclusion, I'll skip that last one. Don't worry about the last example. In conclusion, the domain are all the x values. The x values go from left to right. And range are all the y values. The y values go up and down. So what I want you guys to do now is to please go to that video questions, look at them, and kind of see some real life examples of them. Okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I'll be more than happy to answer them. In any case, hope you guys have a great day, and hope to hear from you guys soon. Bye.